Hello, survivors. Side Hustle Survivalist here, helping you to thrive and survive. Okay, so we're on our very last category on the QuickBooks, the Quicken Deluxe, and this is the income categories. All those videos I did before were on about the expense categories. And just a disclaimer, I am not a CPA, nor am I a tax advisor. I am just giving you my opinion and what I do for my companies and my business and how it works for me. So I went through all of the expenses before, and now we're going to talk about the income categories. And this one's going to be kind of a short one because there's not a whole lot. The expenses is where you get all your tax deductions at. But I just want to kind of go through a little bit on something. So my very first on my income categories is commission. Why did I go commission? I went around with the CPA about this, finding out that if you're a business owner, again, this is income categories based upon if you have an LLC, a corporation, or a partnership along those lines of how you are taxed, okay? Now, this is not going to fall into if you get a W-2 and your taxes are already taken out of it. You can do that with the Quicken, but you would just have another category of what you're getting paid at by your job. So in this instance, my very first one is commission. So in my type of business, if I'm set up on a commission, it is a lower income tax bracket, okay? That's why on my income, I'm going to try to get in the lowest tax bracket I can. I don't know what that is right now. It's the 15% below. All your expenses play into that. So this is just on income. But on commission, how do I do it on commission? So if I have a single client and I get multiple payments from that single client doing several different projects, you might say, let's say projects, then I can label that as a commission that is coming towards me, not as a professional fee, because professional fees, like a doctor, a lawyer, and even a CPA, they are charged a higher tax income bracket. So now I am looking at being in a commission income tax bracket and doing it that way. And that sometimes, if you'll see down here is royalty, I can actually also sometimes put some of that into a royalty. These are just different income brackets that has a lower percentage of taxes. Let's put it that way. So commission and royalties. So if I have, let's take a financial prepper. He has a welding shop, okay? He may say, I'm getting paid. If he does a project for this person, yes, they're going to send that in, and that's going to be taxed at a different rate. And this person has one single project. But then he has another individual who has multiple projects for him. He is therefore commissioning his welding shop to do multiple projects under this one client. Therefore, he can put it in as a commission. So that's just my opinion. Check with your tax CPA on that. The second thing is obviously the farm. And a farm is a very good tax haven because the farm has multiple expenses, as you saw before on the expense category. You know, you're always repairing, you're always fixing something. You're dealing with animals, livestock, a farm, you know, whether you have hay, we do livestock and hay here, or if you have a grain operation where you're doing grain. So anything income from the farm goes into here. That would be the selling of your livestock. That would be the selling of your grain. Any of your sales from your farm will go in here. And then that also falls into if you have a website and you're selling stuff on a website that's related, linked to your farm, that would go there. Okay, oil and gas, if you have any kind of, again, royalties or receiving payments for oil and gas leases or pipelines, that is pretty common out through the Midwest, Oklahoma, Texas, all the way up to North, South Dakota. If you're a landowner and you own land and you have a pipeline that comes across, and or if you have a well that's dug on your place, and this could even go back generational, all the way back to generations, you probably will be getting a royalty check on oil and gas lease. We do have that through the family, and I track all that within my Quicken on income. That too is also listed in a different income bracket of royalties, and that will be between you and your CPA of determining where you're at. Again, the expenses of owning your own business will help offset all of these types of income avenues that you have coming in. Royalties already talked about. Reimbursement. This is one a lot of people make a mistake on. And let me give you an example. All right. Let's say you wrote a check to your insurance agency for $1,000. All right. $1,000. Now, that is money that you have already been taxed on that's in your bank account. $1,000. And they're saying, okay, $1,000, and you just expense that out to the insurance, writing a check to your insurance company. But let's say your insurance company comes back and says, oh, hey, we made a mistake, and they sent you back a check of $200, all right, $200 as a reimbursement. Well, then you put that into your checking account. I'm trying to hope I'm explaining this enough. You put that back into your checking account. You'd already had that $1,000 of income in there. Now you're adding another $200. Well, the IRS looks at that as, oh, $1,200 of what that, you already had your $1,000 of income in there. Now they gave you back another $200, even though you wrote a check to them for wrote a check to the insurance agency for $1,000. IRS doesn't look at that. They're looking at the income that was in there. And so now you had $1,200. So now they're going to say, oh, we're going to tax you on $1,200. And you're like, no, hey, I had to pay out. That was already part of this $1,000. They reimburse me. So anytime you get reimbursements, it goes back into here. Reimbursements are not taxed. It's a reimbursement. It's money that you have already spent. And for some reason or the other, I'm just using the insurance as an example, they sent you back a check of $200. That goes back in your checking account. But that's showing that, hey, you got $200 from somewhere. And so you need to label that as a reimbursement so you are not re-taxed on taxed money already of the $200. So reimbursements are non-taxable. So just want to make sure that you had that. Okay. Disability. If you receive any kind of disability check, I'm a disabled veteran. And so I do receive a disability check for what happened. That is not taxable. Disability is not taxable. So that's with veterans. There's probably other type of disability checks that people get, whether through the state or through the federal or whatever it may be. Again, disability income is a non-taxable event. Okay. The other thing is that if you have annuities, and that could also probably fall into investments, but I would separate out if you have an annuity that you're drawing on. That may be for the people who are in the older age group and retirement age, and they're drawing on their annuities. So investments is the next one. Again, I talked about this in the expense category. You have investments in your expense category of any time I buy, trade, sell, whatever. That all goes into my investments. Any kind of dividends that is paid back out or my capital gains will go into my investments category because, again, capital gain is taxed at a different rate than any of the others. So there's all these different tax brackets that you can fall into as long as you divide them out correctly. And now, if you just have a W-2 and a job, you're kind of stuck in whatever tax bracket you are, whether you're at the 15%, 30%, 50%. I don't know. I don't have a job. I create jobs. I build companies. And so investments. The very last one here, again, that's a LTC insurance. That stands for long-term care. So if any of my viewers here, like M&J, you have aged parents and you're having to deal with long-term care insurance and those type of payouts, that goes into this because, again, long-term care insurance payouts for nursing homes or anything like that is not a taxable event. And you do not want to have that put in against your income as an individual, but that's probably 90% who's ever watching this. That probably has nothing to do with you. If that is something, I can go into greater depth on that with you individually. You can reach out to me at my email. Again, the email, if you have any questions on any of this, to reach out to me is bud@side-hustlesurvivalist.com. Okay. I hope this kind of just give you a quick, I know I went really deep into the weeds on the expense side because that's where you get all your tax breaks. But there is also some tax breaks on the income side. Again, we're talking for Quick and Deluxe. QuickBooks probably has kind of the same setup, but QuickBooks, again, like I said, is more for an employee-based type business if you have a whole bunch of employees. This one is if you're flow through on a sub S or a sub C or partnerships, you could use on this income categories to be able to set that up. Then your CPA will be able to go over with you of how much tax you have to pay per each of these categories because they do fluctuate different percentages. And I guess that's it. If you have any questions, hey, hit that like and subscribe button. I sure would appreciate it. If you like this kind of content, well, there's not going to be any more because I'm done on talking about taxes and everything. Just go back and watch all the other videos that's on it. There's a series of them. And I may, I may get a call from the IRS. Who knows? But that's fine. I had twice before and I beat them. So I'm not too worried about it. All right. So God bless everybody. Take care. See you later.